everybody, and welcome to another episode of Turnbuckle Talk with me, Steven Spice. Today's episode is a really special to me because I have followed this wrestler since I started going to wrestling shows 3 years ago. And fun fact, his wrestling belt was one of the first wrestling belts I have ever held. And I own one of his singlets in my wrestling collection, which helped make my birthday this year awesome. I also got to be there when my guest received his Impact Wrestling contract, which was one of my favorite moments ever at an independent wrestling show. I think I even still have my streamers from it. Please welcome to the show the 4-time Alpha 1 male champion, the 1-time Alpha 1 Zero Gravity champion, the 2-time Alpha 1 tag team champion, with Ethan Page, Tyson Dukes, and Gavin Quinn, the 2018 Alpha 1 King of Hearts, the current Clash champion, the 2-time Crossbody Pro Wrestling champion, the current Destiny World Wrestling champion, the former Impact World Tag Team champions for the North, the 1-time Impact World Champion, the 1-time SWJ champion, the 2-time winner of the Tag Team of the Year with Ethan Page. He's won a lot more things than I know. The 9th Triple Crown champion in Impact Wrestling. He is ranked number 107, aka 107 of the PWI Top 500 Singles Wrestling in both 2020 and 2021. He is ranked number 4 of the PWI Top 50 Tag Teams of the 2020 with Ethan Page. He is a father, husband, and inspiration. Please welcome to the show, Walking Weapon, aka Mr. Josh.
I forgot about some of those championships I won. It's a mouthful, eh? I've been around for a long time. I'm getting old, I think. 3 years you've been watching me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure to be pretty much since I won the Destiny World Championship.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you for having me. I'm admiring your wrestling collection behind you, all these wrestling action figures. Yeah, you got a ton of stuff, man.
No, not a ton. It's just like 1 or 2.
1 or 200, no big deal. I like the modesty. There you go.
I need a walking weapon.
I mean, there is a wrestling buddy that is available online. I unfortunately do not have any left. My sons have claimed them all.
Before we begin, I want to say a huge thank you for sitting down to talk with me. It means the world to me.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, now that we have gotten to know you a little better, let's lay a spinning tombstone power driver on some wrestling questions.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Echo.
I think I'm ready.
Echo. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero, and Brock Lesnar.
It's so sad how Eddie died.
Absolutely is. He went
I
far
think-
too soon, but yeah.
I think one of my favorite things about Full Gear is one, Kenny Omega lost his title.
Okay, and 2 is, can I guess? Was it when CM Punk did the Three Amigos?
See, that's close.
Oh, it was close.
It's more like how almost every superstar paid respect to his name.
Yeah.
Jericho with the Latino heat. And then the Lucha Brothers, and then CM Punk with the Three Amigos. I didn't even notice that, but yeah. I just liked how the funniest part about that match is how I can't remember his name, but the guy in the blue was fighting. It was my favorite fight. I can't wait to see Jericho whoop his butt. Like, ooh, let's get some popcorn.
You talking about Dan Lambert?
Yes.
That old man? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
he's got.
Ooh. Who did you decide to become a wrestler? Why did you decide to become a wrestler?
I never decided. I don't think. I did eventually, but it was never like a thing where I was just like, I'm going to be a wrestler when I grow up or anything. I tried it one time, and when I tried it, I realized it made me very happy, and I wanted to keep feeling happy, so I kept doing it. And then eventually, I got so good at it that I decided this would be my job.
That's a very good reason. What has been the toughest obstacle that you have had to overcome in your career?
I would say being Canadian was the toughest thing, because getting noticed and getting a job, a contract at a company like, Impact Wrestling is very tough as Canadians, because we have that Canadian border in our way. You have to get work visas and all this stuff that's very expensive. So you have to be even better as a wrestler to get a job as a wrestler as a Canadian.
That just shocked me and my mom, because we thought you were going to say either your ear surgery for your cauliflower or your neck surgery.
Yeah, that stuff all happens, and it all hurts and stuff, but you can overcome stuff with surgery. But it's just stuff like that border, you might not ever overcome it, and that's out of your hands.
Okay. You have injured your neck twice in your career. Can you please tell us a little about your strengths you had to not only fight through your injuries like in the Ring of Honor, but also what the recovery process was like after your two neck surgeries?
My first neck surgery was to fix my broken neck. I completely broke and ruptured a disc in my neck. And I only took 6 weeks off. So there was no rest and recovery really from that, because I didn't want to tell anybody that I broke my neck. I didn't want anybody to know. And that was a mistake. I learned my lesson, because 7 months later, I went in for my second neck surgery. And that's when I took off time to recover. I took off 9 months, and I had lost all strength in one of my arms. Like one of my arms, I could move it around, but I just couldn't lift anything more than 5 pounds. Like more than a bag of groceries, I couldn't hold for my left hand. So it took 9 months for me to be able to come back to wrestling, but it took 2 years for my strength to come back to 100% in that arm. And it was just a struggle in the sense that you're out of control. Like I couldn't no amount of rehab or no amount of rest or anything would make it heal any faster. It's just you have to wait that 2 years out for the nerves to grow back so that you have that strength back and you can be back to normal. And, during that time, you obviously question if it's ever going to come back.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just peeled off skin off my lip.
Is it bleeding?
No, it just hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like my right arm.
Yeah.
I haven't lost strength. I've gained strength, and it's grown ginormous. My
Well,
mom
it's got to continue.
My mom says, no, I don't mean like how I'm getting older. I mean, I'm 10 and it's like it looks like an old man 10 with arthritis.
Really?
Really.
Why?
You can see the difference in my right arm, right
Yeah, I
there.
see
That's my
that.
muscle.
Yeah.
And my left arm. That's my muscle.
Yeah. What's going on?
It's just something that happened. I lost all my feeling and now.
All right.
It's bothering me.
Yeah.
What would you say the hardest struggle is for young wrestlers today? And what changes would you like to see in Canadian wrestling in the next 10 years for future talent?
The toughest part for young wrestlers today, I think, is there's no patience anymore. With social media and all this stuff, every wrestler starts at 18 years old. They think if they don't make it by the time they're 21, then they give up. And that's just the thing that happens. So many people over the years, I've been wrestling for 16 years. I've probably met 3,000 people that have started wrestling and quit and I've never seen again. So I think the thing is people are lacking the patience and persistence it takes to actually make it. Because I've seen a lot of really talented people that could be very, very good if they just stuck with it. And for the second part, the Canadian thing, I just hope in the next 10 years that places like Destiny and some other promotions around Canada continue to grow and they grow a fan base large enough with people like, Pete Dunne and me and all these other people wrestling on them that, go out and make a name for themselves across the world, that we can bring those eyes back to this Canadian wrestling scene and show people that, we have the best wrestlers on planet Earth, because I really believe that.
Yeah. Speaking of the best wrestler on planet Earth, I met Bret Hart 2 days ago.
No, did you?
Yep. I've met him twice now.
Yeah, he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So you're not wrong there.
I'm sitting with the cardboard in my mouth like, I'm like, you suck. And to be honest, when you talked about the other thing, it reminded me of someone that has very good talent that could stay in wrestling forever.
Who?
Do you know who Dante Martin is?
Yes, I do.
Yes, from AEW.
Yes.
He has really good talent. He deserves to get a shot at the AEW World Title. It's crazy how much talent he has for for how young he is.
It's definitely going to happen in the next few years for him. He'll be wrestling for a very long time.
Looking back in history, you will see that you were the 9th Triple Crown winner in Impact Wrestling behind the likes of AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, and Eddie Edwards. What does it mean to you to be in that group of champions?
I mean, it's very humbling. It's something that I never thought possible. And like, those are people that you say AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, and like, these are people that I idolized, I looked up to. As like, they were doing something I could never possibly do because they were a different type of human being than me. And now I've done the same thing. So it's just something I never thought possible. It's amazing.
Who has been your toughest battle been with?
My toughest battle, I would say, if we're going just off, me being hurt and bleeding all over the place, I would say Sami Callihan at Destiny Wrestling.
Yes, in Steelcase, I was there.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you had to deal with all that, because that was the most gruesome battle I've ever been in the ring. Yeah.
To be honest, I actually kind of miss him.
Yeah. Well, I don't, but we knew him different ways.
Trust me, if you meet him backstage, he's a sweetheart.
Oh, I know that, but anytime I'm in a ring with him, I happen to bleed an awful lot. So I'm gonna pass on that one for the next foreseeable future.
Recently, you made a post thanking Impact Wrestling for them helping you to quit your job in construction. What did that moment mean to you to knowing that you could concentrate full time on your career?
Another thing I never thought possible. I've for 16 years, I've been a wrestler and had a job that I've gone to every week, every day of the week. And, just Impact Wrestling, you were there when I signed my contract, right? I told Scott D'Amore that he was looking at a future world champion that he was signing when I did, accept that contract. And then, now 2.5 years later, it's already happened. And I've already risen to the point where now I'm a professional wrestler and that's my job. And I think it's awesome. It's a dream come true. And, it's nice to be able to call myself a wrestler now and not have to moonlight as a construction worker to pay the bills.
I don't recognize. I'm not used to you seeing without your mouth guard or chewing on your mouth guard. Where's Josh Alexander?
Well, I put these Beats headphones on to make you feel like I had my headgear on,
Yeah.
so you'd be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But no, my mouth guards are all tied up with the baby weapon right now because he keeps all my wrestling gear, huddled in his little fort downstairs.
Mini weapon. You recently won the Impact Championships at Bound for Glory from one of the most iconic wrestlers in history. What did it mean to you to main event with Christian Cage and know that two Canadians wrestling legends were sharing a squared circle?
I can say it meant everything and it was awesome and all this stuff, but I'll tell you a little story. I wrestled in my friend's basement when I was probably your age. We had his name was Isaac, and we had a federation called Isaac's Basements Wrestling Federation. And we'd get together and we'd wrestle on mattresses and we'd, do all our favorite moves of our favorite wrestlers and stuff. And Isaac's favorite wrestler was Christian. So we'd run over to the other corner of the basement where the TV was set up and we'd watch pay-per-views and we'd go back and wrestle during the pay-per-view and stuff like that. We'd go back and watch the show. And he'd always make us watch all the Christian matches. So over the years, there was a few friends of mine that I grew up with in high school that were all part of this federation. And they text me as, 20 minutes before that match with Christian. And they had a picture of them all sitting in my friend's, not the same basement, but in a basement with the pay-per-view on TV, wishing me good luck. And it was surreal to know that all these guys that I wrestled with when I was like 12 to 15 years old in my friend's basement were watching me wrestle somebody we used to watch wrestle all the time.
Wow. On the note of your championship, I would like to say I feel you were robbed, and I would love to see you win your title back. So when you have your defending chance, what is your message to Moose about you winning back your title?
My message to Moose. I mean, if Scott D'Amore ever lets me get in a ring with Moose, that's a big if, because he seems to be dodging me lately and not letting me get in the ring with Moose for whatever reason. Maybe he's protecting him. Maybe he's showing a little favoritism. I don't know. Maybe you should talk to Scott about that. But if it does happen, I think without me saying anything, I think Moose knows exactly what's going to happen to him.
Yeah. You're getting your belt back. That's just the short story.
Oh, and I'm going to hurt him real bad. Don't forget about that part. That's the best part.
For the short story, let's just say Moose will be in the hospital for a couple years, and you'll have your belt.
All right.
There we go.
A couple of years. So I went easy on him. All right, I got it.
Yeah, you went easy. Let's just go easy. Even though he robbed you, let's just go easy, right? All right? We don't want to hurt anybody for a couple decades, right?
I got you.
Often when you come home, your wife, Jade, has some sort of surprise or congratulations worked out for you. What does the support from her mean to you as not only a husband, but also as a wrestler?
It's been the driving force behind a lot of the things I've done in the last 6 years since I met her. I came back from my neck injury while I was with her, and she's been with me every step of the way, and she's seen a lot of lows, and now she's getting to see a lot of highs along the road with me, and she's the one that keeps me grounded, reminds me of all that stuff, and she makes all the hard parts, all those low parts, much easier.
Many of your fans might not know the story behind your headgear. Can you please tell my viewers why you decided to keep the headgear after you're recovered from ear surgery?
Yeah, there's a thing called cauliflower ear. I think a lot of
Yep.
people know what it is now because of MMA and stuff like that. Like you
Brock
look at
Lesnar.
one look at Brock Lesnar or GSP, and he's got these gnarly, weird looking ears. And I happen to have those as well. But yeah, I had ear surgery because of some really bad cauliflower ear. I had to wear headgear. I thought I looked goofy. I thought people were gonna laugh at me. And I was really nervous, and then I did it, and then I realized that it gave me something where, like, maybe just to use you as an example, Stephen, when you were super young 3 years ago and you went to a wrestling show, when you left that show, you might not remember my name. You might not know who Walking Weapon Josh Alexander is, but you might look at your mom and be like, hey, that guy with the things on his ears, he was really good. So like it gave me that little identifier, that thing to set me apart from what I was before, which I think I needed. And it's stuck with me ever since. It's become a part of me.
Actually, I think I did remember you after that show.
Well, I mean, a lot of people leave shows and sometimes they don't remember your name, but they remember something that you look. And the bald bearded guy, like there might be 4 guys on a show like that, so at least they got the headgear to know me by.
And still could match.
Yeah, that would be something you couldn't forget. My bad.
How did you get the name Walking Weapon? Walking Weapon. Walking Weapon. Walking Weapon. Now one more time. Mini Weapon. Mini Weapon. Mini Weapon.
I mean, that's going straight to his head, by the way. He has to watch the clip of himself walking out and people cheering for him. He says, oh, people are cheering for Jet. People are cheering for Jet. I'm like, yeah, you're famous, dude. Like, he loves it. But sorry, the Walking Weapon name, it came from Ethan Page. He looked at me and because he was calling himself All Ego. I was like, oh, you have a cool little nickname. I was like, I don't have a nickname. That's weird. He's like, man, you're a walking weapon. Just call yourself Walking Weapon. I was like, oh, you're smart. All right, we'll go with that. And that was it.
To be honest, I would be scared if I went in the ring with you.
I mean, I think that's why he gave me that nickname. I think he was scared too.
I think I could run. That's why you guys teamed up and he ran to AEW. Earlier this year, you got to make your new NJPW debut. What did that moment mean to you?
I mean, remember that bucket list thing I had that I haven't done? That
Yeah.
Wrestling in Japan? This was like halfway there. Like I'm wrestling for the biggest company in all of Japan while they're running shows in America. So I think it's a really good foot in the door for me. I've been able to, build a fan base over in Japan just by wrestling on those shows. So it's a really good start and I love it there. And, it's just what they exemplify is professional wrestling. That's what they focus on more than anything, more than the entertainment, the backstage interviews and all that other stuff. They just put the stuff that's in the ring, and that's the stuff I love most. So I enjoy it.
If you could choose to face 5 wrestlers that are currently wrestling, who would you like to face? They can be from any company.
Okay, I'm gonna leave Moose out of this one, okay? Because that one's the obvious
One female hospital.
But it's the obvious answer. We know I want to wrestle Moose, but I don't. No, we know I want to fight Moose, and you said wrestle, so we'll go with something else. I would love to. Right. I would love to wrestle Eric Young eventually in Impact Wrestling. I would love to wrestle Kenny Omega to see who the greatest Canadian wrestler currently is, because I think we're neck and neck for that, and I don't think anybody else is close right now. I would like.
Excuse me, ain't no neck and neck. Josh Alexander is way more smarter,
Yeah.
technical, and advanced, in my opinion.
And
And I think everybody has subscribed opinion.
well, I appreciate that, but I need to prove all the other doubters wrong. So we're gonna put those two on there. This is tough, man. These questions are tough. There's this guy out in Mexico named Vikingo that I wrestled for Impact Wrestling, and I'd like to wrestle him again. So that's 3. You say 4 or 5? I have 2 more? 5. Okay. Aleister Black recently showed up in AEW, and I think I would love to wrestle him.
Malachi Black. I would love to see that.
Yeah, and there's one wrestler who is not wrestling anywhere right now, and I wrestled him when I was super young, and he helped me so much, and I'd love to wrestle him now that I'm much better and more experienced, and his name's Chris Hero. So if he ever comes back to wrestling, I hope that match will happen.
Cool. Recently at Destiny Wrestling, you defended your title against fellow Canadian Speedball Mike Bailey. But you had the best entrance in history of wrestling by where you walked to the ring, but Mini Weapon! Sorry, I can't stop saying that. As he made his wrestling debut, what did it mean to you to have your son want to dress like you for Halloween? And what did it mean to have the entire crowd chant "Mini Weapon, Mini Weapon" as you walk towards the ring?
It was surreal. I didn't grow up with a family, so I've built a family now with my wife, obviously, and my 2 sons. So I have my own little family, but like Destiny's always felt like family. It's me and my wife were talking about it. Like my son, we weren't planning on that happening. My music started playing, and he just gunned for the entranceway. And I looked at my wife and just like shrugged. I was like, I guess he's going out. We'll see how this happens. Like, what happens? Like, there's no other promotion in the world where I'd allow that to happen. But I trust, everybody there at Destiny and all that stuff. So like, I was completely fine with it. And I walked out, and he knocked it out of the park. And I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about his insane obsession with me, how I'm his hero and all this stuff, because I don't think like, I mean, it's not something I'd ever thought was ever going to materialize into something like this, because he's completely obsessed. So I definitely feel good about it. But
just the fact how he knew what you were exactly going to do, bite your mouth guard sideways, move your headgear. It's just adorable. I can't. I'm like, we are almost our whole way to the hospital on Wednesday. We were talking about Mini Weapon. Like the whole way, almost the whole way, we were talking about Mini Weapon. Me and my mom.
Well, we gave him a tablet a little while ago, and we had to put regular YouTube, not kids YouTube, on it, because all he wants to do is watch me. So you can't get that on the kids YouTube. So he's been watching and studying, and he loves watching the entrances. So like, I knew he was studying for that moment, and he knocked it out of the park. It's crazy.
I can't even believe he knew exactly what you were going to do, like precise.
Me neither.
3 years ago, I saw you receive your Impact Wrestling contract at Destiny Wrestling. What did it mean to you to be the wrestler to help Speedball get his contract and share in that moment at Destiny Wrestling that you had experienced in that same ring? And before you answer that, just gotta say, I'm the good luck charm. I was there for both shows. I'm the good luck charm. Yeah, no pictures, no autographs, please.
Well, I think a lot of wrestlers are going to want you to come to every single show then from here on out. So hopefully they can get jobs as well if you're the good luck charm.
If it's in America, get me plane tickets and I'll go.
You can talk to Scott about that one. We'll see. But like for me being there and like having Steve Ball sign the contract on my back and stuff, like, were you at the outdoor show that they had last year during the pandemic? They had it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, I wrestled Mike Bailey there too. And after the match, I grabbed the microphone. And I said, he's the best unsigned wrestler in the world. And I said that because I meant it. I wrestle a lot of people, and Mike Bailey is one of the only people that I think meets me in intensity, like move for move. And he's something very special. I'm really glad he got that opportunity. I'm super, super happy I got to be a part of it because I know what it means for him. I know what it's going to mean for him because I don't think we're going to see Mike Bailey in Canada very much anymore because I think the world has been itching to see him. And the second they get the opportunity when he gets that visa, he's going to be, all over the world. So I just know how much it's going to mean for him. And I'm happy I got to be a part of it.
Well, look at you. I see you in Canada almost like a lot of, like so many times. And you wrestle in NJPW. You wrestle in Impact. You wrestle all around the world. And I still see you in Canada more often.
Mm-hmm. But then there's, again, my kids go to school here and I got to come back here and all this stuff. I live here, but I don't think you're going to see Mike Bailey in Canada very much after the world's been itching to see him. He's going to be all over the place.
What does it mean to you to have young fans or wrestlers that come up to you and say they want to be like you when they actually get into the wrestling business or when they grow up?
I embrace all that and the opportunity to be a role model in a sense. Like I don't try to do anything with what I say, but I just try to do things with my actions and how I carry myself as a wrestler and a professional and stuff like that. And hopefully any of those fans and young wrestlers that want to do what I do it like I do it. And they just work really hard and they stay humble. Did you hurt yourself?
No, I just been sitting on my knees for almost an hour and it hurts. What is your favorite thing about walking into an arena prior to a match? And do you have any rituals before your matches?
My favorite thing about going in is just, getting to see other wrestlers and friends and stuff like that. Like that's the whole reason. That's my community. Like when I said I didn't grow up with a family, I found a family in pro wrestling. So like when I show up to shows and stuff, it's just me being around people I love. And my pre-match ritual, it's usually always the same. I do 50 free squats with some stretching, and then I do 50 push-ups right before my music hits. And then I walk out. And that's been the ritual for a long time. I probably should do more stretching and stuff. But
what do you used to do this?
What's that?
Push up.
Oh yeah,
if it's
nonstop.
If it's 50 right before your music, then you must be Sonic.
Takes me a minute. So a minute before my music hits, I'll start doing push-ups.
Damn! Wow. I could definitely not in a million years I could do that.
Well, when I started wrestling, I couldn't do a push-up. So there you go.
Do you have any advice for young wrestlers that are just starting out and in the squared circle?
Yeah, I get asked this question all the time, and my question's usually always the same, or my answer's always the same, and it's just to give wrestling everything, because if you're halfway in and you're not really dedicated and all this stuff, I think a lot of wrestlers need to understand that there's 10,000 other young people starting wrestling that they have to compete with who might work harder. So you need to look around, and if you see somebody working hard, just understand you have to work harder than them, because everybody's competing for a small number of spots. So you need to be all the way in. Exactly.
Well, guys, that's all time we have for today. I want to thank Josh Alexander, aka Walking Weapon. My mom's sick of this. She started so late that she's so sick of it.
I'm gonna
She
let you
loves
know
it.
that I hear your voice literally. The way you're chanting is just like when I come out of Destiny, I can hear you sometimes, specifically out of all those hundreds of people.
Sorry, really? I mean, I am a celebrity, so I get why your ears wants to come to me, but just saying.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank Josh Alexander for taking the time to sit down with me. It meant so much to me. Do you have any final words, Josh?
No final words. I would just hope everybody continues to follow my career, follow Impact Wrestling every Thursday night. And yeah, I'll be winning that Impact World Championship soon and bringing it back to Canada, hopefully to a Destiny ring soon. This is Impact Wrestling star, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, as well as Destiny World Champion, letting you know that you should hit like or subscribe to Steven's wrestling journey.
If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to listen to Josh Alexander himself and lay a German suplex on that like button and a divine intervention on that subscribe button with all notifications on. Until next time, guys, always remember to be yourself, to never give up, and be yourself. Bye, guys!